Here's where I'm at with this. You had this 2-week window, and here's what I'm looking for. Week 1 of the 2-week window, I think Notre Dame needs to lean into the pain. It's unique that you find yourself in this position with 2 weeks. Week 1 should have been leaning into the pain. You need to fully address and lean into what went wrong. That goes for the coaching staff. That goes for the captains. It goes for the players. You needed to watch those rough film reviews, and you cannot hide from where you are not good enough. Every part of that needed to be leaned into last week, because you cannot address what you didn't do well if you're going to skate over it. Oh, this is not one of those, you just, you know how sometimes after a loss, you're like, just flush it down the toilet, forget about it, and we move on or whatever. This can't be one of those. This can't be one of those where you just flush down the toilet and forget about it and move on. No. You need to lean into that film review, and the offense and the defense need to own it. That offensive line needs to lean into every single play. They whiffed, missed, made look a fool, got memed on the internet, all of it. All of it. You need to lean into it. Defensively, same thing. You need to lean into every missed opportunity you had to get home on defense or make a game-changing interception or a play or whatever. You need to lean into that, and you need to own it. And that pain needs to soak in, and it needs to hurt. And everybody needed to feel that last week. You had a 2-week window. It's very, very unique to have that 2-week window where it was. And going into this season, we mentioned how critical that 2 weeks was going to be. Either you're flying high and you got to not get full of yourself. Wow, what a good problem that would be to have and to worry about. Or everybody's so low down in the dumps, but the season isn't over. You got to get it back together. That's what week 2 is for. That's what week 2 is for. Week 1, you need to feel bad about yourself because you earned it and you deserve to feel bad about yourself. Own your mistakes. But week 2, listen, you feel like your dog just got ran over and you're number 8. What are you, number 8 in the polls? Prime playoff position. Beat A&M. You can steady the Rocky Seas, settle in, and you're in position for a round 1 home game. So, as bad as we feel, you're right there, but you got to win this game. You got to win this game. But you're right there. You lost that game. We feel terrible. You're number 8 in the polls in playoff position, but you got to win this game to steady things out, to even give you a chance to feel decent. So week 1 is feel bad. Week 2 is to build yourself back up and to remind you guys that you got talent and you have a lot of good players and you did a lot of good things. Not enough, not nearly enough, but you did some good things. And so week 2 is about making amends. Week 2 is about getting back in this thing and showing that we're better than what we put on film against Miami. Now we're coming home. You're going to have the home crowd behind you, and you got a chance to beat a good team and then level things out, gain some credibility back. Okay? So it's George, tell me you're joking. We need to rest Love and Price for the playoffs. Please tell me that's a joke. You got to tell me that's a joke. Please. I don't want to yell at 9:30 in the morning. Tell me that that's a joke. So that's what I think. Week 1 was leaning into the pain. Week 2 is building back up and realizing you got a good football team with a lot of good players, and you could get this thing righted. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And here's what I want to throw out at you guys. And you tell me if I'm crazy or not. I think a couple simple fixes could really help position Notre Dame to get a win this week. Number 1 is make Price and Love a priority early. I think that alone will help this all. And it's nothing fancy, right? It's nothing. I know you got to block for that to look good. You got to block to be able to throw the ball too. Lean into Price and Love and see what that could do to free Carr up and help the offense get those guys involved. That's number one on offense. On defense, I think there's some simple things you could do with different coverages and when you're going to use what and how you're going to do it to eliminate those wide open passes for 8 yards that were all over. You would like to think that the secondary is going to play better than they did week one and make some of those plays they weren't in position to make uncharacteristically, right? And so maybe if you just make Love and Price more of a priority on offense, that'll help. And then on defense, simplify some of those schemes. You got either bring more pressure or play more man. You can't give those open passes with no challenge for 8 yards, a touch. You just can't do that. And the Notre Dame defensive players don't play well in that scheme. It neuters their aggressiveness. Does that make sense? When you're playing that passive back on your heels, waiting for things to happen in front of you, that's like a mentality. You're not forcing the issue. You're reacting to what they're doing. You're literally playing defense, being defensive. Instead of going to make plays, you're waiting for them to happen in front of you. That's garbage. Notre Dame defense players do them. You're making them less aggressive. That's not, what did they say? We want violence with our defense. Oh, really? You want violence? It's not very violent to just sit back in a zone and give up 8-yard completions all day. Wow, that's no violence. The only violence there is from that is me against the walls in my house. Talking about violence. So, I don't know, man. That's where I'm at. So offensively, I'm saying make Price and Love more of a priority. That'll help. Defensively, you got to let those guys be aggressive. Let those guys be aggressive. And if you get beat, you get beat. Whatever. So that's just how I see it. And then the other thing is the rotation, the defensive rotation. Not trying to be mean or whatever, but like Donovan Einish, like Purdue is the game where you start Einish and he can play inside almost all 3 downs, right? A&M and Miami, not. So you need to get your bigger bodies in there. Get Dawson in there, get Rubio in there, whatever you need to do. So, and KVA, I don't know who needs to, I know the discussion. If you have KVA out there all the time, you got who you taking off the field. Might be a guy with the C on his chest that had the worst game of the linebackers I saw. I don't care. Make plays or you don't get to play. I don't know what else to tell you. It's the most basic football thing of all time. Make plays or you don't get to play. I don't know. John, do you have any idea what you're talking about? Somewhat. Not always. Do you disagree? Would you like to fill me in, Kenny Mitch? Tell me what I'm missing. Give me a call. Tell me what you think. What's your plan? Do the same thing as last week and hope for a better result? What do you got? Lombardi in the morning? What do you got? We should just do the same thing? What do you think? Do you think it's wrong to make Price and Love a priority this week? Am I wrong about that? Do you want your defense soft and reacting to everything the offense does or flying down a hill making plays? What do you prefer? Fill me in. What am I missing? I don't got all the answers, but I'm trying. I don't got all the answers, but I'm trying to figure it out. Never trust people with 2 first names. That's a good point. That's a good point. So that's where I think this is starting at. Okay. And so I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. But I think, Matty B, good to see you. I think a couple basic changes on offense and defense could set the team up to be in a much better position to get things going here. And then you got to make plays. There's no way around it. You got to make plays. The players on the team need to make plays. Okay? And nobody was making those game-changing plays. John Kennedy has first 2 names. You know what, though? Can I challenge that? Because Kennedy never used to be a first name the way it is now when people all started naming their daughters Kennedy. It never used to be. So I'm going to protest that one because it never used to be. That's a much more modern thing. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.